Zafar Ansari struck 2 sixes in the last over of another dramatic Royal London One-Day Cup contest, but Surrey failed to get the 1 run they needed off the final 2 balls as their game with Kent Spitfires at the Kier Oval became the second match in this thrilling competition to be tied. Batting first after winning the toss, Sam Northeast and Daniel Bell-Drummond opened up with a stand of 34 in the first 6.5 overs. Bell-Drummond had made 18 of those when he was the first out, edging Azhar Mahmood behind. Brendan Nash was out with a total on 51 in the last over of the power play, Gareth Batty winning the LBW decision after the batsman played his shot too late. Kent came into this match on the back of an amazing performance against Somerset when they just managed to defend a massive total of 383, and this informed team was soon starting to put together another large total, with Fabian Cowdrey producing the best innings of his career. Northeast scored 100 in that narrow win in Taunton, and he was raising his bat again for a 50 here, which was made off a patient 70-70 deliveries, this being only his 4th 4. He was out for 63 on this occasion, mishitting a short ball from the returning Chris Tremlett to Ansari in the 29th over, with a total on 143 for 3. Cowdrey remained and got to what was just the second 50 of his List A career. He'd used up 61 balls from which only 2 fours had been struck. He lost Darren Stevens at the other end for 6 as Stuart Meeker completed an 8-ball over by having the danger man caught behind, but all that did was bring in Sam Billings, fresh from his remarkable 135 against Somerset, which was made off only 58 balls. The young keeper is in scintillating form at the moment, and he was soon hitting the ball to all parts once again with some stunning cricket shots as the Spitfires brought up their 200 in the 38th over. To emphasise his form right now, just take a look at this shot, a swept 6 off someone with the skills of Azhar Mahmood. The runs were now coming at a very good lick, with Cowdrey moving into the 70s as the visitors entered the last 10 overs of their innings on 219 for 5. That's because they just lost Cowdrey for a career best 75 when he gloved a pull off Tremlett behind. Once more, Billings then took over. He lifted this ball from Meeker over the rope for his second maximum, on his way to a 50 which came off only 29 balls. Kent have had the wood over Surrey in all formats of late, and one of the reasons for that has been the fantastic form of the 23-year-old, who's loving every single minute of his cricket at the moment. And why not when you can play shots like this? It went for 6 as Billings began to clear the rope for fun. All 3 of these incredible shots carried the distance in successive overs, as none of Meeker, Azhar Mahmood nor Tremlett could bring Billings under any kind of control. He has every single shot in the book, and many that certainly aren't in it. This competition has been wonderful so far for him. Billings took his tally of runs to 286 in 3 innings with a strike rate of 186 and an average of 143. He was hitting perfectly good balls away. That average is in spite of getting out here for 87. His 42nd ball was his last one as he found Meeker at fine leg, but only after he'd added 66 runs in 6 overs with Callum Haggett, who followed for 20 4 balls later as Tremlett struck for a 4th time to end with the fantastic figures of 4 for 38 from his 10 overs. James Treadwell ensured that Kent raced past 300 again, 95 runs coming off the last 10 overs. Mitch Claydon out to the last ball as he was bowled by Azhar Mahmood, but Kent had got to an imposing 314 for 8 from their 50 overs. And they started perfectly with the ball as Tilakaratne Dilshan was out for a golden duck as he edged a drive off Doug Bollinger to Billings. It was an ideal start for the visitors, but that wicket didn't put off Stephen Davis any. He played some sublime shots as he and Vikram Solanki raced the score along with a whole host of boundaries, which saw Surrey get to 74 for 1 at the end of the first 10 overs of power play. Yes, we had a game on. It was all happening out there. Solanki was dropped off Bollinger and went down suffering with cramp. Such has been this Royal London One-Day Cup competition so far. We've had some very big scores and some nail-biting last ball finishes, and this was all being set up rather nicely for another 50-over classic, with Solanke really starting to enjoy himself with some magnificent cricket shots. Davis had known the importance of a rapid start to the reply, and he was at his 50 in just the 12th over, his half-century coming off 39 balls from which he'd found the boundary on 9 occasions. Alas for him, he couldn't go on, and having got to 58, he gave Cowdrey a wicket in his first over, offering Haggett a simple catch at mid-off. So now Solanke had to take over. His 50 arrived off his 60th delivery, the run rate slowing down after Davis's dismissal. Solanke had hit 7 fours in his half-century, as his side were left to get 176 runs off the second 25 overs, having made 139 for 2 from the first half of their innings. Solanke then twice hit Adam Riley for 6s as Surrey kept going. These were shots of the highest quality on a pitch which was ideal for playing them and ideal for this excellent competition. Solanke raced on to 83 from 87 deliveries. But to the ball after hitting that second maximum, he came down the pitch again but drove a quicker delivery from Riley into the hands of Bollinger in the covers. He left with 136 wanted from 20 overs. Kent then began to get a grip on this game. Rory Burns had played well for his 43 but was run out when Cowdrey's throw from the deep hit the stumps at the bowler's end directly. It needed to as well. Tremlett was brought up the order to number 6 and he smashed his 5th ball for a maximum to leave 85 needed off the last 11 overs. Gary Wilson then helped a short ball from Claydon to Nash in the deep after making 29. And 4 balls later, Tremlett also departed as he was bowled by Claydon to put the visitors in charge. As Surrey tried to regroup, 4 overs passed by without a boundary, and Aaron Haranath then holed out to long off Treadwell, leaving 55 to get off the final 5 overs with only 3 wickets in hand. Azhar Mahmood hadn't given up yet though. He took 19 runs off over number 47, including this 6 off Bollinger. And another maximum came in the next over, delivered by Treadwell, as the target was reduced to 21 with 13 balls of this compelling contest remaining. Azhar then chose the wrong ball to reverse lap and was bowled by Treadwell for a 27 ball 38, and that left 21 to get off 2 overs. When Bollinger went for only 5 runs in the penultimate over, it looked as if the game was up for Surrey, but with 16 wanted, Ansari struck the first ball of the last over, bowled by Claydon, over mid-wicket. 2 runs came off the next ball, and the third of the over was belted over long on for another 6. From being out for the count, Surrey now required just 2 to win off 3 balls. Ansari levelled the scores with 2 to go before Batty had a swing and a miss at the penultimate delivery, so 1 was needed off the last ball, and a perfect delivery from Claydon saw Batty run out by Treadwell as the game was tied, Surrey ending on 314 for 9. It was another astonishing game of cricket in a competition filled with them. It means that Kent missed the chance to go top of Group B, although they remain undefeated, while Surrey now have their first point on the board ahead of their next game with Sussex, under lights back at the Keir Oval on Wednesday. Kent are also back in action straight away with a day-nighter at home to Glamorgan.